Hello, welcome back to the Friends of Zeus Podcast. This is episode 86. Tonight we're going to let Tom run the show. He's got a little game that he wants us to play called Ask Me Another Question.
Part 2.
Yes, version V2.0.
That was, what movie was that?
Part 2?
Part 2.
Part 2?
Hot Shots Part 2.
Yeah, with the great Charlie Sheen.
All right. So if you're a longtime listener or follower of the Friends of Zeus podcast, you may recall Ask Me a Question, the original. So the concept here is that I'm going to ask some questions, and these are like topics that were not quite big enough to dedicate an entire episode to. So we're just going to do maybe 5 or 10 minutes on each topic.
Can I just say, Tom, that the original Ask Me a Question podcast is currently on display at the Library of Congress in downtown DC right now.
It's a classic.
It's right there next to the moon rock, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Just let our people know.
Everybody that walks in the door kind of rubs it.
It's actually banned media. It's like catcher in a rye.
Yep.
All right. So we're going to get started.
Okay,
Last time
just so the audience is clear, Tom is the only one here that knows these questions at all. We have no idea what's coming. And, we might even be live. I'm not even sure.
We're not right. I don't, maybe
Like
not at the moment.
Like pretty much every week, we have no idea what we're doing.
Right. But I mean,
We
we're all,
might have to reserve live for next week.
yeah, I'm kind of feeling the game show contestant like pressure.
Yeah, man.
Sure.
All right. Yeah, you don't know what's coming. That's right.
Oh.
So we're going to get started. I'm going to start with...
Hold on, wait, what are the rules? Like, do we have to answer in the form of the question? Do we have to
No.
can we pass?
I'm going to give you a question and, we'll go one by one.
Round robin.
Yeah. And then that person will
Try to answer.
do their best to answer or pontificate or discourse on the subject or whatever. And then we'll all kind of chime in.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to start with Zeus. You ready? Are you ready?
I am fucking born ready.
Can I ask you a question?
You can ask me anything.
All right. Are you familiar with this teacher?
Yes, I
Stephen
actually am.
Hanna, who did you take shop when you were in high school, Zeus?
Yeah. I failed though.
Did your teacher look like this?
No.
This is a shop teacher in a high school in Canada, and he comes to school dressed with these gargantuan prosthetics and the high heels sometimes, and the mini skirt and a long blonde wig, and he teaches the shop class with this
Are they
getup.
prosthetic ears, Tom?
I can't see the ears.
Oh, okay. I just didn't know what prosthetics they were.
So, what's your question, my friend?
So the parents objected to this, obviously, and the school
Can't imagine
board,
why.
the Canadian school board, took the side of this teacher and said, "Hey, it's okay with us. We're nothing to see here. Nothing
Pay no
going on.
attention
Nothing
to
wrong
the
with
freak
this.
in the shop class.
Should this teacher be allowed to teach while wearing this getup?"
So, my answer to that is this is not this, and this is my opinion. It may not be popular. My opinion is no, because this is not about wanting to be a woman. This is about wanting attention, and this is over the top. This is not an expression of their binary / non-binary status. This is about shaking people up and getting people to look at you. This is all about, they were abandoned when they were a kid, and they just want people to pay attention to me. That's my opinion. I feel pretty strongly about it, but this is a joke. It's fucking ludicrous.
Yeah, to me, this is.
And I really hope she cuts off her fucking thumb.
It's probably a prosthetic thumb.
Yeah. It's got a nipple on the end.
But yeah, this is insane. I mean, this is obviously something this person just kind of gets off on, and dressing like this in front of
Well,
children,
plus, I don't.
basically.
It doesn't look like she's ever used a chop saw before either. I'm just
Chop
saying.
saw?
I mean,
Is that what
That's
that
poor
is?
shop skills.
miter saw.
Oh, a shop saw. Okay.
That's
She
my-
should be teaching because she
Chop,
doesn't know the
chop,
fundamentals of shop.
No, chop saw.
Shop saw.
Yeah.
And plus, you don't have hair like that using a tool like that.
It's not safe. Yeah, it should be back in a ponytail, right?
Exactly.
That's a joke.
And where's the safety goggles? Thank you very much. And she's
I can't
clearly not
see.
good. She's got all of her digits.
But it's
Desiree, do you have a question?
No,
Oh,
I'm trying to fix this light. Sorry, I'm not trying to raise my hand. I'm just not paying attention at all over here.
Yeah.
What state was this
Okay.
in, Tom?
this was in Canada,
Oh, well, that explains a lot.
That state.
coming to a state near you, though.
Yeah, no
Can I give my opinion?
Yes.
Yeah.
Them titties are way too damn big for using a chop saw. Let me just say, as a woman, those need to be in a sports bra, and they're clearly not. So that's number one.
I'm going with they're clearly not real either.
Well, I know, but what I'm saying is, if this person is trying to be a woman, if your titties are that big, you're putting them in a sports bra and getting them out of the way.
And
You're
it's
not
all
letting them
about-
hang in front of the chop saw.
It's all about look at me. This has nothing
Yeah.
to do with any kind of statement they're trying to make. This is,
Well,
I can get away with it now.
Just to be clear, I wasn't saying if you have big tits, you can't use a chop saw. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying you would get them out of the way.
How?
For those
A
of you
sports
out there,
bra.
Desiree does not
Turn around
recommend anybody
backwards.
with big titties, is what she's saying.
I mean, I'm not saying that my titties are like that, but they're not small. So I understand that problem,
Yeah.
and I'm not letting them hang in the way of a chop saw.
No way.
Next question.
All right. Next up is Desiree.
no, I didn't get to
Desiree.
go, but that's all
Oh,
right.
Jack didn't get an opinion.
No, that's
Oh, shoot,
okay.
go.
That's okay. We have to keep it moving, but
I think Jack is good.
No, you got something good?
no, I was just gonna say, this is a problem that is coming to a state near you, like Mike said, because we have protections. They call them SOGI protections in a lot of places now, and that stands for sexual orientation, gender identity. Like that's
Okay.
that's become the new speak now, that they are entitled to protections like race, religion, that kind of thing. And the thing to me though is this clearly is a mockery of any gender identity. This is just identity. Like,
Yeah.
I want to wear this, so I should be allowed to.
She could have very well been wearing a unicorn horn.
No. Like, if it was a guy in drag, he identifies as a woman now, and the school decided to go that way, then let the teachers protest. Like, I think it's weird exposing kids to that, but that's the world we live in. But this is obviously almost like it's sexual fetishism, and it doesn't have a place around children. And I'm afraid if something like this happens here and they can get away with it legally, forget the green hair and the pink hair teachers with the nose piercing. Like, it's going to get really bizarre and sexual, and it's going to be the norm. And
Violent. I think it's going to get violent.
I
think
you,
People
yeah,
are going
no,
to have enough.
No, I don't. You always say people are going to storm the machine guns, Zeus. Like, that's a recurring theme on the Friends of Zeus podcast. I don't think it's going to get that bad, but it's definitely a reason to vote.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I got.
No, very well said, and yeah, I
This
agree.
is about the spectacle.
And think of the children to
Yeah, they have
use
to put up
an old hack phrase, but what about the children that have to endure this every day?
I mean, if a well-endowed female student flaunted them like this with the see-through shirt and the nipples, like, she'd be talked to.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Or any female teacher, they'd be like, you know what, this is. But nowadays with Soji and with identity politics, and I can be me. Look at me, I am who I am. This is how I dress.
Like, why did nipples have to be involved with that outfit? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't, because it's a fetish.
And like overly stated, this is the spectacle. This is she could have been wearing a clown uniform or clown costume.
Right.
I don't think this is about gender. This is about look at me. I find it offensive because it's just exposing kids to way too much that they don't need to have questions about.
Right.
right. And it's for his own enjoyment.
It's
Right.
gratification. Yeah.
All
Oh,
right,
look how I pissed them off. Yeah.
Desiree, can I
Absolutely.
ask you a question?
You can ask me anything, Tom.
All right.
Can everybody see the entire? Oh, I see the whole question here. Okay.
Okay, TikTok.
Mm.
And I know
The
you're our
TikTok.
resident TikTok expert. And you may recall back in 2020 when Donald Trump was trying to ban TikTok because of its relationship to China. He was trying to get them to sell it to a US-based company because TikTok, if you've ever gone through their terms, their privacy terms, they take a lot of information. They're collecting a lot of stuff, not only the usual stuff about the name and address, IP location, but also like the keystrokes, the biometrics, things like that. All this is going back, and because it's owned by this sort of quote unquote evil company, I think it's called ByteDance, which is owned by China. And it's got a very close relationship to the Communist Party of China, and they demand that all of that information gets turned over to them once the company gets it. So basically, China has all of this information on a lot of our young people, not only all of their personal information, but the keystrokes and the biometrics and all this other stuff. What do you think about that? Is TikTok evil?
Well, I mean, so does Apple. They got all that shit too. So whether it's TikTok, Apple, Samsung, whatever, I mean, all these companies have your information and you just readily give it to them.
Google. Yeah. Google.
Well, I'm trying to think of not US based
Sure.
companies.
Sure.
But yeah, just Facebook, Google, anything that's, internet based has all this information. So, I mean, is it evil in that sense? I mean, if you are a person that doesn't like your information being out there, then yeah, I might as well just get off TikTok or don't download it or whatever. But you might as well just get off the fucking internet. So,
Right.
I mean,
Okay. Anybody else?
I think evil. So evil, I think you have to measure by intent. Do they mean malice with it? I don't think so. Do they mean to gain money? Sure. So I wouldn't call it evil. I would call it selfish. I would call it duplicitous, but I don't think I would call it evil. I don't think its intent is to do harm to others.
I think I would call it evil, only that the only time the information is going to be used is for something nefarious. You're not going to have TikTok take the information from your account and be like, hey, Michael, I think that you need to have this new gold star. It's going to be like, it's always going to be something shitty. And
Hey, Mike, real quick, are you going in? Sorry to interrupt you. You're a little bit low. Are you talking into your laptop or into?
Oh no, I'm talking in the speaker that Zeus and I have.
can you
Okay,
get
is that
closer
better?
to it? Yeah.
Get up in there.
Get up
I'll
on
talk
in there.
closer.
Go
Right,
ahead.
how's this? Listen to us real quick. Say something.
Say something.
Perfect.
That's better.
Hello?
Yep.
So I think not that it's so much evil in the collection, but it's evil in how the information is used. Because it's not there to help you. It's there to help someone else or some other, agenda. And the thing is, with us being, some of us are older than others, but we're generally Gen X, and
I'm not Gen X.
Desiree is much, much younger. But what I'm saying is, we're used to having like our information collected at this point. I think younger generations, they don't have a choice. They don't know what it's like to not have that happen, and they are not aware of the repercussions. And that's really the problem. Like, people don't understand, especially kids, younger people, they don't understand what the repercussions are later and who's using this information, and for what. And it's definitely not acknowledged on the front end, right? So it has to be discovered on the back end. And Zeus is really, our specialist on the back end. But
Stop.
But I'm just saying,
Scratch your bitch eyes out.
It's not fully disclosed. Like, people are giving up so much information, and kids are giving up so much information without understanding like what the implications are.
Right.
One more thing, if they were using like the phone's camera, because if you think about it, you're on the phone and going through TikTok, you would be using the front facing camera. If they were using like the front facing camera, hacking into that and getting information from that, I think that would maybe cross the line into evil, but I don't think that they're doing that. Again, Apple's probably doing that.
Money.
Just so
I don't think it's about malice. I think it's about money.
yeah.
Well,
I mean,
but we're
could it
talking.
be used that way later? Yes, but
To me, the big difference is not what they're collecting, but the fact that it's being handed over to a nation's government.
correct.
Apple doesn't do that. Well, I don't think they do. And Google, they keep it for themselves, or they're selling it to advertisers, but it's not going to a government. That's the difference, I think.
I'm coming to a realization that you can tell that we're getting old because we call it the Apple and the TikTok,
The internet.
yeah, the World Wide Webs.
All right.
Well, I mean, one last thing, and we touched on this in an episode like 60 episodes ago, but the other thing that we have to keep in mind is the power of this information collection. Whether it's the front-facing camera, whether it's your search history, whether it's whatever, is only as potent as everyone's concern about it. Like, so for me personally, if some story comes up and Zeus is like searching for something, I don't give a shit about that. Like, I consider that personal information. Now, our media and our culture may not, but I still do. So I don't take that as a negative towards somebody. I don't want to live in a world like that. I like having things that are disclosed and not disclosed. And if someone has something that is disclosed that they don't mean to have disclosed, I don't hold it against them. So I guess my point is we have some power as the consumer of this information to be like, hey man, I know Zeus was looking at some like chipmunk porn, but you know what? Whatever, more power to him. I don't give a shit. Like, I don't have to give a shit about it.
It's called rodent porn. Thank you.
Rodent porn. What I'm saying
I have a varmint fetish.
what I'm saying is we don't have to engage with the level of intrusion that's apparently inherent in our technology today. Like, we don't have to give a shit about it. And then that takes away the power of it. And that's crucial. Like, we need to treat each other as human beings with our failures and our, peculiarities.
I mean, when you think of
all
it
that stuff.
on a customer and company relationship, maybe. But when we don't know what nefarious purposes China is using the information for, or if wasn't there a story recently where one of the companies, the social media companies, was handing over information to the FBI based on, what people were doing online? and then the FBI would start researching them. Or so, I mean, it's going down a bad road, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, would you really say the FBI thing is evil though? Especially, I mean, if they're gonna investigate
Yeah.
things like school shootings or like
100% evil.
No,
Yeah,
not
we-
if they're,
Yeah.
but they're investigating things that are not.
No, the FBI is
Like that.
100% evil right now,
Yep.
in my opinion. Because I
Yeah.
can't trust them. Look, if you're a law enforcement agency, it is binary, right? Everyone wants to say binary. It is black and white. You either have legitimacy or you don't. And the FBI doesn't. So I don't trust anything they do, because once they cross that line, then I don't have enough information to decide whether they're being truthful or not. And if they're being untruthful on XYZ, then I just have to like not believe anything they're saying. I mean, that's
Zeus,
where I'm at.
disregard that.
I just disregard all of it. Like I think the FBI is a fucking joke right now. Like someone says they're an FBI agent, and we're like, might as well be working at Dairy Queen. Nothing against someone from Dairy Queen. I have no respect for FBI people. Zero.
Well, I got all the respect for people that work at Dairy Queen because them are some good brothers.
Yeah, I have respect for people at Dairy Queen. FBI can go
Who
fuck
doesn't like an
itself.
ice cream cake?
Dairy Queen is not evil. I think we can agree on that.
Department of Justice can go fuck itself. I don't give a shit about those people. They can go. I mean,
What's
seriously. man.
next? What's next?
All right.
Yeah, next
Jack.
question.
Sorry, I had to sneak
Jack.
it in there.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure. Why not? What do we got?
Will we ever see the Epstein list?
No.
Never?
No, I never. It's never
Where
gonna
is
come
it?
out.
Somebody has it, right?
Yeah, I think of the same groups that Mike was just talking about are completely they are privy to this information, or at least a select few of them. But these orders came down from on high, okay? And they've had a hold of Maxwell, who mysteriously came back into the country for no reason at all when they found her and arrested her. Like that was shady to me right from jump. Like she really should never have done that. And they talked about confiscating just so much material, videos, documents, photos, everything. And I really don't know how much of that stuff was used in her prosecution, because we didn't hear about boo from the transcript of that trial.
Man, if I was her, I would have started sharing an apartment with Snowden. Fucking never come back to the U.S.
No, or how about just name some names?
Yeah.
What do you think? What's in the list, Jack?
What is the list?
I think it's a lot of very wealthy, powerful people, and I don't just mean celebrities. I mean like politicians. I mean globally. This guy, you know, he mixed socially with some very, very
Powerful.
influential, powerful people for a long time. And then he even got busted in Florida and somehow was able to walk away from that and keep doing the things that he was doing. I mean, I don't know. I don't think we'll ever find out. That's my answer. Because I'm as cynical about things right now as Mike is. And I think this is the world we live in now. And I don't think it's going to come out.
Is this a list of people that were like his friends or his victims?
People
No.
that visited Epstein's
Okay,
island.
gotcha. All right.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
his victims, they probably have that list.
No, I'm
It's the
thinking-
people he.
No, I think we should call them clients.
There you go.
Fine. Here's the thing with Epstein, and I'm not an expert on this situation, but listen, Epstein was not Epstein was not someone that just had like some, you know, peculiar proclivities and had these like interests in underage girls and whatever. It was a business. Okay, this guy was trading access to minor girls for access to powerful people.
Yep.
That's what his business was. It wasn't just like this guy just had this whole thing and he had some friends that were into it too. This was his business. There are people out there, and if you have a certain level of power, that you get to the point where you're like, you know what? I just want to like have sex with a 14-year-old or whatever. And Epstein was the person that you called.
He was the middleman.
He was the middleman. And, you know, to Jack's point, does this list come out? I think it does eventually. I hope it does in our lifetime.
After the people that are on it are dead, or most of them are.
I mean, unfortunately, that may be what it is. But I think the bigger question has to be like, how many people are we talking about? And who are these people that are in power? Like, what are their objectives? Like, what I'm saying is, if the list doesn't come out, and this may sound harsh, but I assume that people that are in power are on it unless they can prove they're not. To me, personally, because what else am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to assume you're innocent if you're running in those circles and you're in photographs with this guy. There's no photographs of me with Jeffrey Epstein.
Or is
I
there?
didn't know the guy. Like, so who's...
Yeah, well, you did call him Jeff, is so you guys
I'm just saying, who are these people in these photographs with him? Like, you guys have been to parties. I mean, maybe not parties like this guy, but if you get your picture taken with someone, you're either their buddy, or you're trying to be their buddy,
or a friend of a friend.
You're
but Mike, I think at the parties in New York, let's say the social circle that he ran in, I bet you, like, if anything, he probably was trying to glom onto celebrities and get photos with them. I mean, so I don't, you know, I'm not going to say everybody that ever got a picture taken with the guy is a pedo. Like,
Right.
and that's true, Jack. That's a good point. I don't mean to say that, but I'm just saying, I'm going to assume the worst.
The list is the people that visited the island, though.
Well,
We're not
listen,
talking about somebody that
clients.
he shook hands with.
But this information is out there. So if I'm somebody, if I'm Michael Wilkes and I'm like this like super powerful person,
Wilkes.
I know I am. But if I have like some pull and I was associated with this person and I am completely innocent, I'm gonna freaking bust ass to make sure that my name is cleared, and I don't see that happening.
Well, so
Also, who's to say that everyone who went to the island was a pedo? Like, maybe it was just a
100%.
fun ass time.
They were.
I don't know.
No, I don't know that all of them were. I'm
100%.
sure they
I have
had
no
their own
question.
kinks. I'm sure some of them were,
Look, man.
but they were still there
Look.
for something they couldn't get in the real
If
world.
you're slicing and
easily.
dicing, if you're like, man, I was friends with Jeffrey Epstein, I went to the island, but I didn't sleep with the six. You're already so far over the water on the plank. I'm sorry, man.
Well,
I know one guy did that. They the lawyer from Harvard, Alan Dershowitz.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, he got outed as having gone to that island but he went with his family supposedly. And he said, you know, he let us borrow his little.
Listen, man, would you guys get on a plane to go to someone's island if you didn't know who they were? Like, I have friends of mine that have
Maybe.
bad habits, but I know what they are. And I sure as hell know that my friends aren't diddling minors.
Right.
And
I mean,
if
you
I'm
kind of
gonna go
know the guy.
somewhere-
He's a billionaire. He's famous. Sort
And
of.
well, here's an
I don't know,
interesting
man.
He
here's an
invites you
interesting-
to,
Well, the bottom line is, look, back to answer the question. We know there is a list. We know they had like not truckloads, but they had a house full of evidence, documents, videos, photos. There are definitely people implicated, and I don't think we'll ever know them.
They need to be under oath. And they need to
Yeah,
testify
I agree.
about it.
And here's the interesting thing.
They're serious crimes, dude. These are serious crimes. This isn't fucking around. This is
No,
like a
but they-
serious fucking shit. Like, they need to account. Look, if I was on a manifest on one of these planes, I'd be like, put me under fucking oath, give me a Bible, put me in front of a jury, let me talk. If I was innocent, but that's not what's happening.
Yeah,
These
but
people aren't
they
offended.
didn't get named anyway, so they're not doing it.
Here's the interesting thing to consider about this is every celebrity that he hobnobbed with and just took a picture with, man, that's a smokescreen. That's like, now even though he just walked up and, you know, maybe because he was a hedge fund guy or something too, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was probably doing some legit. Let's
Some
assume that he was
business.
doing some legitimate business as a cover for what he was doing.
Mhm.
And as soon as you got a picture shaking hands with Jeffrey Epstein, you're implicated whether you did it, guilt by association. I mean,
Right.
Mhm.
you know,
Right.
so
Or
it's
let's
very,
just-
that's a great smokescreen. He was, you know, for what it's worth, the one thing we can hate the guy, which I'm sure we all do, but he managed to do this for a very long time, and we really only started hearing about him in the last, 5 years?
Because he was protected by the people that were implicated in
I'm-
what he was doing.
No,
That's
I'm-
the whole point.
I'm not defending it. I'm saying he successfully did this. He had a plan, and he fucking Tony Robbins did.
Yeah, he provided a service. He provided a service to very wealthy, powerful people, and that's just the sick world we live in. What's the next question?
We'll see. We'll see if the worm turns. All
Moving
right.
on.
Mike, can
Yes.
I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll be back in 30 minutes.
Oh my God.
Can you name any other organization today that's more fascist than Antifa? I mean, if it
Organization is
a
more
duck,
fascist
if it
than-
talks like a duck, then it's a
I'm sorry,
duck, right? And we're talking about book burning, disrupting lectures in schools, beating up
the Democrat
political opponents.
Party, the Democrat Party, MSNBC, NPR, CNN. Is that enough? They're definitely more fascist.
But these guys are the boots on the ground fascists.
Yeah, but they're the dummies, man. I mean, look, they're not even smart. I mean, I've interacted with these people, like Shut Down DC, which is the local Antifa chapter here where I live. I've communicated with these people. They're freaking morons. Like, look, there is a disassociation between the people that actually go out and do this stuff and the people that are representatives in the Democrat Party, like Jamie Raskin and Ben Cardin and these people that are like in power in DC and these other organizations, these media organizations. The people that are in your picture, they're freaking morons, dude. They're like a fucking t-shirt. Like, I've communicated with these people. They're idiots. They have
They're
no
wearing
clue.
barrels.
I mean,
These
seriously.
are like teenagers, or they're like,
They're fucking morons, dude. I mean, it's like not even. Thank you. Can I have another IPA?
You want
I have
Mike?
no idea. Okay, but what I'm saying is, I don't have an issue with those people because they're idiots. It's like having an issue with a dog that shits on your yard. It's like your issue is with the owner, and these people are the dog that shits on your yard. I don't have an issue with them because they're freaking idiots.
Yeah,
they exist, right?
I'm sorry.
They exist.
They exist, but they're.
I mean, like Biden said they don't exist.
Yeah,
They absolutely exist.
Jerry Nadler said that they're just an idea.
No, look,
Well,
shut down
Biden copied
DC,
that.
Rose City Antifa out in Portland. Like, again, this is a whole other podcast, but I've gotten into this whole thing with these people, man. Like, it is decentralized, but they are definitely all of the same mindset. It doesn't have to all come from the same place. If you're anti something, if you're against something, you don't have to organize it where everyone's playing from the same sheet music, right? So these people, it's a freaking technicality. Oh, we're not from the same organization. It's like, well, you're doing the same thing. You're like all reading from the same music. It doesn't matter that you don't all have the same like vice president or whatever. Like,
Right.
they're all anarchists anyway. Like, what, I'm supposed to prove that anarchists have an organization to them? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, again, it's like, don't believe your lying eyes. Shut down DC is a bunch of losers. So's Rose City Antifa. These people are jokes. The people that you have to worry about are the Democrat Party, and the politicians and the media and all that stuff that buttress these people. If it wasn't for the media and the Democrat Party, these idiots would they die on the vine, man. Like, no one, they're idiots. I'm saying that in a nice way. I'm not trying to, I'm saying they're actually idiots, right? I'm not trying to dehumanize them.
Yeah, Mike,
They are.
Mike, I agree with that, but the thing is, they are, they need to be idiots because they are the foot soldiers. They're actually, They're,
they
no,
need to be-
they're- no, but right, I know, but they're the ones carrying out violence against other people.
Right, but they're propped up. I'm saying if they weren't propped up, you have to look who's propping them up. If they weren't propped up, they would just be like Crazy Charlie from down the street.
Yeah,
It's the people
no,
that are
see,
propping
I-
them up. That's
think
the
that-
issue.
I think the problem is that the media and all the people that you just rattled off, they dismiss them and they basically don't provide any news about some of the violence that they carry out.
Yes.
So I mean, right now we saw it in 2020 with these guys with BLM. Certain people, because of their worldview, are able to carry out violence against others, and it's either not covered at all, or it's celebrated. Or it's allowed. It's just kind of like, and that's my problem with Antifa, because they are real. They do have groups and cells. They do plan where to go and where to protest, and they don't always don the black helmets and the armor and all that. But they'll show up at somebody's speech and cause a stink and have it canceled. Like, they're doing all this stuff, and it seems like the conservatives, for the most part, aren't. Like some parents may go protest a drag show. Ooh, that's real. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
only one side does it the way they do it, and that's why, I don't fear them. But any group that tries to oppose them is labeled ultra right wing, white supremacist
By the media.
by the same party that you're always talking about. That's my problem, is that these guys do exist and they don't get enough coverage. They don't get enough play. So nobody even worries about them. And the next thing you know, they're beating people up, and no one can even form a group to oppose them. Look what happened to the Proud Boys. They were just they were showing up to basically provide some muscle in case these idiots wanted to start, getting in people's faces and beating them up like Andy No. Like, that was the impetus of that. And now they're an ultra right white supremacist group that no one can associate with.
Right. It's not like these guys are carrying cards.
No, they're hitting people with bicycle chains. They're pepper spraying people in the face. They bring flash bombs to throw at people and cops.
Look, I've told you guys, like, I've been down DC. I live near DC. Like, back in November of 2020, right after the election, it was like the Stop the Steal rally or whatever. I was like down there for that. And these idiots were like lurking around like the side streets and like calling out stuff and threatening us and stuff like that. I'm just like, whatever. I mean, look, it's like you can pay attention to that, but that's the noise. The power is the propaganda. The power is the media. The power is the elected officials.
I agree.
These people are morons, and they are easily dismissed. I'm just talking personally. Like, I just don't give them much credence. Like, if you're getting down to the point where you're like dealing with politics and like the future of your nation at the ends of your fists, you've already lost.
I feel the same way about this as I do about QAnon, as I feel about
100%.
This whole it's not a group, it's a movement. Fucking bullshit. Like, you know what? BLM's been around forever. I don't know a BLM card carrying member. They want to say that they support the movement, but they don't want to directly connect themselves. And I'm not talking about BLM. I'm talking about any of these fringe groups that say they've got a movement, that they're trying to change things, but they won't fucking marry themselves to it.
They won't say what they actually want to do.
This stupid fucking right out of Pink Floyd The Wall picture that we're looking at, it's all jokes, intimidation. Dude. It's all imagery and it's so stupid.
All right, Zeus.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Did I answer your question, Tom?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what you were doing for the past 20 minutes.
Thank you. Okay.
You're about to start answering now.
The Friends of Mike show.
If you didn't answer it by now, then you lost your turn.
Yeah.
All right, what do we
That
got?
is my question, sir.
Zeus. You used to work in stocks, I think.
Yes, I did. I worked for
My stocks, my 401k is dropping like a rock
My
in the
God, yes.
pond. By the time we retire, will there be anything left in our 401ks?
Well, no, but I got in early on the crypto market, and that's gonna
Gosh,
blow
Jeff.
up for me. It's gonna blow up. It's gotta blow up. Something's gonna blow up. No, you know what? I think this is a cyclical thing. I think that probably they will go back up. They'll find a way. You know, at one point I was making nothing on it. Then I made a bunch. Then I made more. With the housing market, I think this stuff will go up probably. We'll see. Yeah, I don't think it'll be gone. It may be replaced. It may be rebranded.
It's going to be gone.
Well, I don't see any clouds here for you to scream at.
Oh, sorry.
I think, I mean, if we continue down this path of this, you know, Marxist ideology, maybe that I don't think it'll go away. I think it'll stay steady at the very worst, but I don't think it'll go away. I think they'll keep enough of a carrot dangling in front of us to keep us wanting to work for whatever meager penance we can get.
Right.
But I wouldn't count on this money. We're now in a place where we got to take our own individual chances and invest in things that we feel like we win with. Mike, the clouds are here.
No,
Fair
okay. So listen, man.
Fair enough.
All right. We already have a government
Sounds good.
that's like trying to tax unrealized gains on capital gains, right?
Yeah.
So Obama has already said, this was years ago, that he wants to go after 401ks. You know, being able to invest and have your money grow, that's white privilege, right? So it is definitely under attack. It is definitely, these are things that are held in banks. Like, do you have your 401k under your pillow at your house? No. It is 100% vulnerable, 100%. And
If you wanted
people
to
that-
destroy the economy fully, that would be a surefire way to do it.
Look, you've already got ESG going into these retirement funds for public unions, and it's already creeping in that way, and their pension plans for firefighters and police officers and things
Based
like
on
that.
your TikTok usage, yeah.
I'm just saying, look, man, if it's not in your hand, thank you so much. Oh, I'm good.
Good.
If it's
I'm good.
not,
Thank you, dear.
if it's not in your hand, it's not real. And people need to understand that. And I'm not saying that's gonna happen. I'm just saying it's happened before. And this faith in, oh, I've got this money in an investment plan, that's like, that's.
Do y'all invest? Do y'all
That
invest
could
your own
just
money, or
disappear, that could just disappear like that fast, man. And like, don't think it can't.
do y'all like choose where to invest your money, or do you let the company manage it?
Pretty much just the 401k.
Yeah, so far I've let them check. I mean,
You just let them do it, and just let them put
Yeah.
your
so
money in.
far,
All right. Desiree, can I ask you a question?
You can.
It's funny every time he says it.
There's a Hurricane Ian coming up through the Gulf.
First of all,
And wait a minute. The question. Hold your horses. Every time there's like a hurricane or a forest fire or an earthquake, people, it's climate. That's proof. Climate change is real.
Mhm.
Are these things really proof of climate change?
I'm going to answer your question, and then I'm going to go on my rant.
Okay.
So I do not think they are proof of climate change, because if you look back in history, there's been strongest, name it, bigger forest fires, stronger tornadoes, stronger hurricanes that have hit whatever land of mass or massive land, whatever. just they started taking histories. So, I mean, I don't think it's proof of climate change, but I will say that Ian pisses me off because I'm supposed to be going on vacation right where that bitch is hitting. Like tomorrow by noon, it's going to be all over this Sanibel Island place, and I'm supposed to be there in 2 weeks. And all I'm saying is, if this stupid ass hurricane ruins it, I'm gonna be really mad.
In 2 weeks, it'll be okay.
Yeah, I would think.
You don't think? I mean, I would think that if you're a coastal Florida place, you're going to probably build your building to withstand a freaking hurricane. I mean,
Sure.
Yeah.
we
You
have
should.
buildings that can withstand F5 tornadoes. So why wouldn't you build it to withstand that?
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
gonna
know.
be fine. They get hurricanes like this down there all the time.
They have what's called hurricane parties. They're so not concerned with it.
So
Yeah,
I
they
talked to
do.
my mom today. My parents live about 50 miles from Tampa Bay. And the house they're in, like I was there when it was getting built. This thing can withstand like category 5, whatever. And they're like 50 miles inland, so it's not going to be an issue.
It's already looking like it's not going to be that bad.
And all
It's
the,
going to be a category 4 when it hits land.
but what I'm saying
Yeah,
is
and
all
then
the
it's going to
building
diminish
codes,
immediately.
all the building codes down there are insane.
That's
okay?
what I figured.
Everything is at least a category 4.
I don't know.
I mean, if you have a coastal property, like
Mhm.
the window, when you buy a window, like for zoning that's like right on the coast, it has to withstand like 2x4s hitting a glass window at like 100 miles.
The news cameras, they always seem to find that one house that just gets like decimated.
Right,
So
and it's
that's
usually-
what shows
But I
up on
mean-
TV.
But if
Can
you're
you-
in any house that's built since like say 1990, you're okay.
But I mean, can you withstand a 8-foot
you're
storm
okay.
surge?
Yeah.
But storm
Yeah.
surge is different than wind.
So
But
here's the thing,
everything's on
Desiree.
stilts down there too.
They never
Yeah.
talk about this, but yeah, when it hits land, it's going to be a category 4. But the biggest thing that slows down a hurricane is friction.
And
It's-
20 minutes later, it's
yeah.
gonna be a 2. or
Yeah,
3.
it'll be a 3 or a 2. It'll do damage. It'll do water damage. It'll cause some floods. But Sanibel, you might be worried. Honestly, I got to tell you, Sanibel is a
Yeah.
worrisome place because it's an island, so they
Yeah.
don't have enough friction to slow it down there.
That's what I'm saying.
But those people are fucking loaded. Sanibel is like the Martha's
But-
Vineyard of Florida.
But you're gonna know within 48 hours.
yeah. I don't think you have anything to worry about.
My
No, I don't
camping
either.
trip got
Mm.
rained out
Right.
this weekend though. That sucks.
But I think Desiree, I think you nailed
Live
it
Hurricane
because
Mag.
it's all about. I mean, these storms have been happening for
Yeah.
millions of years. So
The
All
Earth
right,
has only been
Jack.
around for 6,000, so I don't know how that's possible.
Tom, I think it's gazillions of years actually.
It's 6,000.
Gazillions?
I don't know if there's been a gazillion years.
I mean, I just want to be accurate. Since
Jack, can I ask you a question?
Sure you can. What do you got?
I love this. No theory.
All right.
Hey.
Okay, this one's got I got to explain this. So, well, you first of all, you remember Joe Biden's got a history of plagiarism, right? So, okay, play a little bit of word association with me here.
Okay.
Now, you remember Reagan was the first one that came up with the Make America Great Again back in the 80s. But anyway, so would
Okay.
you agree, Jack, that to build something and to make something, that's pretty much the same thing? Would you agree?
Yep.
And if you have to build something back, like if I knock down your sandcastle, you got to build it back. And to make it again, building something back and making something again, that's pretty much the same thing. Would you agree?
Tom's a fucking genius.
Yeah, I would go with that.
And would you agree that if something is better than as opposed to worse than, it's kind of like being greater than as opposed to lesser than,
Do you have a law degree, Tom?
better?
Mhm.
I'm talking to the lawyer now.
No, but you should
So-
have. But you should because you're. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, you're putting something together here, Tom. I
No,
like it.
Tom should get a law degree, man.
So would you agree that if something's better, then it's basically by definition it's great? Would you agree to
Yeah,
that?
I mean, it's greater. It's great.
And so if you're building something back better, you're basically making it again great,
Mhm.
are you not?
I would go with that. This is an
And
easy
the-
question. I'm
The
glad I
only
got
thing
this
you
one.
left out is America, and I
Yeah.
guess we can kind of figure out why he did
Well-
that. But did Joe basically steal Donald Trump's catchphrase?
Yeah, I mean, it's fun to think he plagiarized again, and you're right. In essence, he is selling the same cookie. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like you know how there's Oreos,
Mhm.
and then there's that other
The
one that
generic brand.
what's it called?
Oh,
Hydrox.
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 Yes.
It's not the same.
It's like
It's
like
not the
Flavor
same.
Aid and Kool-Aid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're kind of the same, but now Oreos, everybody really thinks so. Like you'll literally say, you know, those other Oreos, but they're not like
Even though Hydrox is the original.
You know,
flavor
the
profile.
shitty Oreos.
right. So
That's Joe Biden.
So
He's
one
the
has
shitty Oreo.
so one is clearly the dominant cookie.
Can I just say something?
Oh, I just want to I got to give it to
Yeah.
Trump because Make America Great Again. It's probably, as far as campaign merchandise goes,
Mhm.
those red hats have to be the top seller of all time.
I don't think there's any Build Back Better blue hats.
No, I don't think they would sell
I've
like
never seen one.
hotcakes.
I bet if I go and right now and look for a Make America Great Again hat, I could find one in my own house. So
Yeah,
Maybe more than one.
Can I just say I am so proud to be a member of Friends of Zeus, to have Tom as one of my compatriots to come up with this, because it's genius. It's
It is.
absolutely 100% true. And Tom, you get the gold star this week because that is so true.
Mhm. It's a Friends of Zeus exclusive.
It's a Friends of Zeus exclusive, and you nailed it. You nailed it.
It's obvious to me. And we
Yeah.
know that, first of all, Biden, he didn't come up with Build Back Better. He's not
No.
that smart. He copied that from some liberals over in Europe, I think, were using it first.
Well,
All right.
He clearly copied it off Trump.
Yeah, but Trump also
Somebody copied it off of, but it originated from
clearly
the
stole it from Ronald Reagan.
conservatives.
wasn't Reagan's just Make America Great?
Yeah, so Trump stole it. I mean,
No, Trump said
he
do
did
it
a good
again.
job, but he wanted to be Reagan. He was taken from Reagan's playbook, definitely.
What's next?
Okay. Mike, can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
You ready?
Ask away. Ask away.
Oh, look at that.
So I visited Roswell recently.
Have I?
You may recall. No, I
That
did.
looks very
Remember, I was
big
in
with
New
his
Mexico.
throwing.
Oh, wow.
How'd
Couple
you like that, Sham?
a few weeks ago. I was in New Mexico, so I visited the Roswell Museum,
Yes.
and I met up with some of my friends here. What I wanted to show you, though, so it's got a museum and it's got all those hokey sort of statues and things on the wall. You can take pictures. They've got a research center. Like, look at this. So I went back in there. They got this whole room. It's got like every book ever written about UFOs. It's got every magazine, every movie or video cassette. I went through, well, I didn't go through all of them, but I kind of like browse. It's an immense research. It's amazing. You got to go there one day. And I just pulled out like one tape at random, and it was this one here on, I know it's hard to read. It's the Art Bell episode from the old Coast to Coast, where he was talking about UFOs, but they've got everything in there. And then they've got even some of the ancient alien pictures on the wall here.
Wow, look at that.
So my question, it's a long way to come to the question, but are the aliens among us already? Do you think they're already here, Mike?
Mike's an alien.
Yeah, they just flew him up to Martha's Vineyard.
So it's a tough
Got kicked
question.
out.
I think we are definitely monitored, like whether or not it's boots on the ground or not. I don't know, but I think we are definitely being watched. That's my own personal opinion. But whether or not people are here already, I don't know. I think we have a high opinion of ourselves. I think what an alien culture would look at humans for would be like mining and like physical labor,
Batteries.
and all that stuff. Like they're not looking to us for enlightenment. So I don't know if they're among us, but I do believe,
No, we're monkeys with guns.
I do believe that they monitor that they monitor us.
Are they
That's
trying to
fair.
steer us? Are they trying to enlighten us?
I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question. That's a very important question. And I don't have a clear answer on that. I don't know. I mean, are we livestock or are we an aspirational life form for them? I don't know. I don't know if I can answer that. I think, look, I look to what nature is about, right? So whenever you look in nature, when two species meet, it's generally a lot of conflict, right? So if you have a cat and a mouse, the mouse has its own goals, the cat has its own goals, the cat's trying to eat the mouse is trying to stay away from the cat. Like, they don't generally work together. So generally when two species
Tom and
meet,
Jerry.
I'm just saying, generally when two species meet in nature, it's confrontational. So when I think about aliens or people from other planets, I immediately go to a confrontational standpoint. Now, if I think that they are parental, right, where they are like, well, listen, we're gonna like tweak things, we're gonna like tweak their DNA, we're gonna do whatever, and we're looking out for them, I don't believe it would be for good outcomes. I think it would be for, hey, we need these people to work for us. Because in nature, things aren't generally like sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows, right? So if there are aliens, I think either they are manipulating us for their own goals or they don't give a fuck. But I don't think they're here to help
You look
us.
at the relationship between like the really high advanced animals like humans and then
Yeah.
other animals. It's not always the you know, the fighting. Like humans
not
and dogs
always-
are
yeah,
humans
that's
and
true.
chimps. You know,
Humans
it's-
and cats. Cats don't give a fuck about humans.
True, but it's like, what are we bringing to the table? I mean, if a
Yeah,
species has
Mike-
came here to Earth and has been able to manipulate us, like, are they looking for something from us? Probably not. I think we are the hamsters. I think we're the mice.
Yeah,
I
but
may-
Mike, couldn't it just be them to study us in a way that like we study animals? Like they mostly just observe us in our natural habitat.
Could
and,
be.
you know,
But I don't think they're
you have
looking
the
to us for
abduction.
answers. I
So-
don't think they're like seeking enlightenment from us.
No, it could be pure entertainment.
They probably got a human museum on the alien planet. Like
But
this
the
one.
answer, but the answer to Tom's question, yes,
What's the mate?
I do believe, whether they are among us or not, that there is some presence of a non-human
they're around. some-
intellectual species on our planet among us. Yes, I do believe that, 100%.
All right.
So may I put my spin on this real quick? I think I didn't even wait to see if anybody said yes.
Yes.
I think if we want to look at it, Jack's analogy of us with animals, I think a more
That was Tom.
appropriate-
That was Tom.
Oh, okay. I think a more appropriate way to look at it would be like how we look at that what do you call it? Original people, Aboriginal group in the middle of
Australia.
Costa Rica or Australia or Panama. There's this group that was in the middle of the jungle and nobody's seen them. I think it's more along those lines. And that being said,
Right.
one has to assume that if they're able to travel light years or traveled for thousands of years, whichever, to get here, they're far more advanced than us. And they may actually take kind of that Gene Roddenberry prime directive
Right.
attitude. I think if they were among us, I don't think they are, because I think this is the time right now, this period in time would be a time they would do something, because we're heading down a weird path. But I actually don't necessarily think that they wouldn't have altruistic intent, because they're more advanced. And I think, if we're going to lean in our evolution one way or another, I would like to think that in any group of, aliens or us, that we lean towards positive outcomes rather than negative.
Well,
It's far better to ally yourself with people and make them better, and thereby make them better allies. So I don't think they're here because I think they would have said, "Hey guys, you guys are fucking shit up all over the place." Now that being said, there might be a malicious one out there, but just based on us and our anthropology, when we go in, we've learned through history not to go and approach that Aboriginal group in the middle of the South American jungles, to stand back and observe and be very careful with your contact. Because
Zeus, you're kind of on both sides. First, you're saying they're doing the prime directive, Gene Roddenberry, not interfering, and then you said that if they were here, then they would definitely step up and say something.
I'm saying if at this point, well, yeah, and in what Star Trek did they ever follow the prime directive completely? It's not so much about that. It's about not interfering with their culture as little as possible. They never succeeded at it, because when you see something barbaric or something where you could help and save a life, we tend to want to do that. Call it hero, you want to be a hero or whatever, but people tend to want to do the right thing.
All right, I tell you what, I've got 4 more.
Next question.
I know
Wow, you guys.
This is going to be the speed round here. I've got 1 more for each of you. So let's okay, Zeus, can I ask you a question?
Ass away.
All right, this poll came out a while back, and I saved this from a long time ago. But so Russia invaded Ukraine, right? So if China invades Taiwan, so these things are happening, and so they did a poll. They asked Americans, what would you do if you were in the same position as Ukraine? If somebody invaded the United States, like if Russia invaded us, or if China invaded us, only 55%, this was shocking to me, said that they would stay and fight. And 38% actually said they would get up and leave the country, which is unbelievable to me. Now you can probably imagine what side Republicans are versus Democrats.
Right?
Oh.
So the question, what would you do? Would you stay and fight?
Fucking Wolverines all the way. I would
storm that machine gun nest. That would be your chance.
I would send the wife away with the kids, and I would fight. I would fucking fight.
How can you be I'm sorry, Desiree, but how can you be a man and be like, I'm gonna run away? Fuck that shit. No fucking way, dude. I would have to be like,
I'm the guy on my unit that when shit goes down, I run to the front. I'm like I don't know
how any person who identifies as a man would be like, I'm gonna bug out. I don't know anyone like that. I mean, I can't believe it's 50%, Tom. I mean, I don't know anyone. Yeah,
this is a dumb poll.
I mean,
I believe it. I mean, so much of the country.
Wait, hold on. Trust me, I know dumb polls.
I'm just saying anyone, but I'm saying people that even aren't like politically aligned with me, like guys I know, they'd be like, "Fuck that shit." It's like the whole thing where
the people politically aligned with you, but think of how many people are here because they ran away from where they were already. There's so many Afghans that are here because they just ran away from the fight. People that are coming here seeking asylum, running away from Guatemala and Nicaragua and what's going on. People that don't want to fight, and they've already proven that.
No, but maybe it's true, and that's sad. I'm just saying it's like the whole thing of like, you can't call my mom a name, but I can. I mean, I just... I don't know. That's sad. I mean, if that's the truth, that's depressing.
So here's the thing, man. There are people that run to the fire, and there's people that run from the fire. I think as Americans, I think it's kind of been ingrained in us that fight, never give up, you name it. We fought against the British. We could have very well lost, but we did, and somehow we've been formed on this.
It was the greatest world power in existence at the time. I mean, that's how crazy it was.
It was a small band of rebels going up against the Death Star.
It was insane. It made no sense. It was completely irrational.
Yeah, no,
right.
I'd stay the fucking fight. I don't even, not even a question.
Desiree,
I say that I'd leave. Oh, go ahead.
what? No, go
I
ahead.
don't know. No, it doesn't matter. Next question.
I think you'd scratch some
Get
fucking
in there
eyes.
quick.
I say that I would
You said you
leave,
would leave,
but
huh?
honestly, I would probably stay and use like my one talent, which is like being a nurse in really high stressful situations. As long as it was
Yeah.
in like a bomb shelter and as long as there is food. The second we run out of food, I'm dipping out. So
It would be hard, man.
You'd
Like,
leave
love
the
your
country?
honesty.
I'd have to send my wife
if there ain't no
to
food, yeah.
somewhere else. Like, I couldn't do it with my kid around.
Well,
I mean,
and I think that might be, in all fairness, I think those ones that do run is because they don't have means to protect their family or they don't feel, but I wouldn't leave the option. It would just be, you gotta go.
you gotta go.
You gotta head west until somebody says we'll help you. And if they don't look like they're gonna help you, run them down with the car. Like, I'm gonna stay back here and fucking
and it's
help you
listen,
escape.
Listen,
Yeah, but this is Americans polled here, right? And that includes
It's
younger. What's that?
This is sad. This
No, the numbers make sense to me with the current national like view of itself as a country. Like this does not surprise me at all. We talk about it ad nauseum. You got at least 2 generations that are raised to hate this country so far.
I think
Right.
they might welcome an invading army.
They
That's what I
might
mean.
even, they might even help.
Okay,
incorporate
Desiree,
that.
can I ask you a question?
Yes, you may ask me anything.
Oh,
I feel like we should be prepping for speaking of a incoming invasion, I feel like there could be something either like if war with China breaks out, the shortages on the shelves, switching over to electricity, the grid could go down, everything could all go to pot. Should we be prepping right now?
I don't know. So, you remember
Desiree
when
is
the toilet
actually-
paper ran out?
Wait.
You remember that whole situation that happened? The toilet paper running out?
Yeah.
It wasn't that long
Yes.
ago. Okay. So when that
But
happened,
we had the one wipe Charlie's.
yes, okay, we had someone my
Yeah, what if you ran out of
But,
those?
it was so everyone's going to the toilet store to buy toilet paper. There's pictures on the internet of stuff is running out, and I'm over here like, you guys, all you have to do is get Amazon Subscribe and Save, and they'll send you the toilet paper. Stop going to the store. Bitch, Amazon ran out of toilet paper. And so, but what do? We found other things that were just as good as the thing that we needed.
Pillowcases.
Pillowcases, dirty socks, whatever. Just kidding.
I know. I'm just.
But for example, an axe, this is on this picture. Maybe you'll find something that's just as good as that tool. Maybe not water, you can't really replace that. But these people out there that are preppers, they're like, that's all that consumes them. Like, you don't need to be doing this to consume your life. Like, you don't have, stuff just under your bed and in your cabinets and in like a whole room full of your prepping supplies. Because honestly, if that was really going to happen, the world's going to end, your prepping supplies are going to last you what, like a month? Like, there's no way you could prep for a whole ass lifetime.
No, that's a good point, Desiree. Like, I always think about that. People are like, "Oh, I've got 90 days of like extra food." I'm like, 90.
What are you gonna do in 90 days?
Like,
It
whatever.
might,
like,
wait a minute, it might buy you some time.
To what?
it will buy you some time, but eventually, if things really go bad, they're gonna really go bad. And I don't know, man. It's like,
And do you really want to be around when they go that bad? I don't know, man. Just if that's
do.
gonna happen, just take me.
Yeah.
Straight.
I'm gonna always fight. For
I'm not
life,
gonna get in a
because
zombie apocalypse. I'm not
There's a
doing all that.
zombie apocalypse.
You got
I'm gonna be there.
eternity to be dead, man. You can
all right.
live a long time.
Jack,
Yes, sir.
I think I should be prepping, but Jack,
Yeah, me too.
can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
I love it.
Here's another poll. 51% of people from 18 to 29 years old no longer support the system of capitalism.
This is what I'm talking
How
about.
is this possible? Why and how is socialism growing
Not in this
at
age.
this rate in the US?
Because I just mentioned it, and Mike's mentioned it many times before. We have a whole younger generation of people that have been raised and indoctrinated to think that we suck, that America sucks, free market sucks, everything should be utopia, kumbaya, we should all be the same, and everybody should have equity and not equality. It's totally different now. And so I think that when you're talking about this age group, I'm surprised. I mean, 51% maybe gives me hope that they all weren't brainwashed. But thanks
That's
to
right. It's only 51.
No, thanks to parents and good parenting and maybe good teachers. But I'm not shocked that it's 51% of that age group. I'm really not. I mean,
Can I say something?
Crazy.
Real quick? I think
Yeah.
for that age group, like, can they, after one or two questions, or if they like sit down across the table from me, like, will they still feel that way after like one or two questions? I don't know. I think it's shallow. I think it's wide and shallow. I think the questions are asked, but I think that our children, these people that are feeling this way, they can't defend it.
Right.
They can't go down that road and be challenged on it. It's a veneer. It's a veneer. And I just don't buy it. Like, I get it. I mean, and I think the poll that you're quoting, Tom, is accurate, but they can't withstand.
No, I think you're right.
Withstand the incoming. Like, they can't withstand me.
How about
I know that
how
they're
about
not
look at
going to
this-
be able to withstand.
bear
They
with
can't
me.
withstand sitting down with me for 5 minutes.
How about this?
but
Look at this
they're
kid
not.
with his-
Mike, they're not. They're not sitting down with anybody who has your perspective, because people who do are dinosaurs,
Yeah,
or they're racists,
yeah,
or they're fascists.
right.
So they're not going to sit down and try to learn from you, because from an early age they've been educated and indoctrinated, and you're the other. Like, these kids don't want, it's beyond just age. Like, the young kid not wanting to hear from the old guy. We were all that kid.
Right.
But these
Yeah, I didn't
these-
want to hear from anyone.
Yeah, right. But these kids firmly believe this shit because this is the only side that they've ever gotten.
They believe it because it's the only truth they're being given. Whether it's truth or not, it's
Right.
the truth they know. And
Right.
here's just looking at this picture, I question whether this kid would feel so good about I'm assuming that he is one of these 51%, that's what he's talking about. If he would feel so good about socialism if he wasn't allowed to wear his clearly designer glasses, his
Right.
his well, it looks like a nice shirt, and
Mhm.
talking to this woman, and both of them have clearly had
Benefits of capitalism.
Look at their hair. Their hair is fucking perfect. Like these are not things that will survive in a society where everybody is to be equal.
No.
Because it's far easier to be equal on the lower income side of things than it is to be on the opulent side.
You guys nailed it. I don't think they know. I think this is what they believe, but they don't know what they.
Right.
Well, I mean,
think they know.
capitalism is
All right.
is great
Let's go.
because you have to strive.
Can I just say something real quick?
Of course.
Okay, so with
Yeah, Tom's trying to keep it going.
I know.
Listen, I love the younger generation. We've had previous episodes. I mean,
I'm just glad my kid's not one of these ones.
I've counseled high schoolers, and I learned a lot. And these kids and these younger generations, they're amazing. And really, as humans, we do get better per generation. Overall, I think we do progress. I think these kids are really smart. But here's the thing, and we're a Gen X show. All of our
Desiree
participants,
is
except
is
for
a millennial.
I'm not
Desiree,
in
yeah,
Gen
she's like 3 years old. But for most of us, I think the one thing that we bring to the table as Gen X type folks is we're a little hardened. Like, we've had our points challenged and we've had to defend them. We aren't, people didn't say like, oh, okay, that's absolutely correct. Like, we had to
Fucking
stick-
prove it.
We had to prove it. We had to stick our stake in the ground and like hold the ground. And there's something to be said about that. And this younger generation, although I think they're very intelligent, and I've counseled teenagers and they're amazing, but I don't think they have the intestinal fortitude of having their points challenged and having to defend them that people in our generation have had. And
Well, you know what it comes down to? Our parents said, "Go figure some of this shit out yourselves, asshole."
Yeah.
I mean, like literally, that's like the words that I would have probably
you
heard
gotta
from my
be
dad's mouth.
challenged.
Go
Yeah.
figure this shit out on your own. You know, it leans into a lot of everything that we say, from the non-binary to everything else. It's like, don't make all your choices now. Live a life. Learn from it. Experience it.
But I take
You
a
know?
lot. But I take a lot from these younger. I'm just saying. I take a lot.
I'm looking
from
at
younger
I'm looking
generations.
at
Like,
Tom.
I'm just saying these younger
I'm
people. They
spacing
tell
out.
me
What?
things.
These kids these days.
I'm saying these younger kids. They tell me things. And I'm like, yes, that's an absolutely great perspective. Look, people.
But you're
get,
wrong.
We get smarter. No, I'm saying they have a lot to offer, but they also have to have some humility and understand that they don't know everything.
The problem is
And-
we're not requiring them to offer anything. They have plenty to offer.
They have a
but we're
ton to
not we're not
offer.
making them offer
Dude, my
anything.
nephews are fucking the bomb, dude. My nephews are like, they text me and they send me stuff, and I'm like, holy crap! Like stuff I never even thought about before. And they're young; they're in their teens. They have a lot to bring to the table, but they also have to be challenged.
All
And
right.
if you're not challenging your kids or the kids,
Mike.
of the next generation,
No more clouds. No more
Mike,
clouds.
I'm
Anyway,
going to
whatever.
challenge you to bring one more answer to the table.
All right.
Okay,
Can I
here we
ask you the final question?
I'll be back in a half an hour.
Honestly, Mike, what's worse, Vanity Fair or the Atlantic?
So
This is the editor of the Vanity Fair, who I think he has
Of course it is.
he's worse than Trump with his hair. I think maybe
No,
that's
okay,
that's
so
the
there
cause
he
of all
is.
of it.
And you asked the correct person, Tom, because I don't think anyone else on Friends of Zeus podcast is equipped to answer this question.
That would be me. I would be the other one.
Yeah. So I think, the Atlantic is 1,000% worse, because the Atlantic pretends to be a news magazine, whereas Vanity Fair is like entertainment and more fluff. Like no one's like, man, I just read this article in Vanity Fair.
Do you
Like,
see all the news headline? I don't know. Maybe you've got it turned off, but if you have like the Apple News, like every day there's another headline from Vanity Fair, and it's always something like
but
Trump's going to be arrested today,
yeah,
or
but it's
Trump's
all-
running for his life. He's so scared he's going to
But
get a.
it's all
it's-
garbage.
Is Vanity Fair even
Right.
a political magazine?
No,
They shouldn't
society,
be, but
it's a society magazine, but the Atlantic pretends to be a serious news.
the Atlantic
source.
just
So
makes shit up.
I would just say the Atlantic is 100%.
And it just says
worse.
stuff.
The Atlantic is 100% worse. That's my opinion.
They just say stuff.
Vanity Fair is Vanity Fair.
They're both shit. I don't know if you
They're
maybe
both
you don't
crap,
see all of.
but Atlantic pretends to be serious.
I gotta say, Melania is fucking smoking.
Cool point.
Am I wrong?
Zeus.
She is a gorgeous woman. That's my 2 cents on the
Thanks,
whole.
Zeus.
What is a woman, by the way?
Atlantic.
So this is like
That was hey Tom, thank you. That was fun.
Tom.
that
This
was
was a
great.
fantastic. I think this was our best episode ever.
And
I don't know about
Des,
that.
you got totally like gonna go do a rap video after this.
Yeah.
Look going on.
yeah,
Oh, I
Straight
love
out
it.
of Compton.
100%. Straight out of Kansas.
Killing it.
Can I wear my Kansas is fuck shirt next week?
Sure.
Okay.
I
We're
looked
gonna
on
have
a
to like
map
blur it
for
out.
Kansas, Desiree. I looked on a map today, and I'm great
Uh-huh.
at
It's in the United States.
Yeah.
It's in the
It's
United
right in the
States,
middle.
but it's like right in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
You guys are like right in the middle.
They're like dodging tornadoes left and right.
The
Mhm.
heartland.
So you're going down to Florida.
Maybe shit. Who knows? It might
I
be
gotta
going
tell
on.
you,
long?
I
3
hope it's
weeks?
nice because Sanibel is fucking
Wait, are you going?
amazing.
Are you going in 3 weeks?
Yeah,
It's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
unless I don't have a roof.
It's gonna be fine.
Your money's gonna go so much farther because they're gonna need it because their houses are destroyed.
Well, I kind of figure maybe I'll find one of them famous seashells or something because after the storm is the best time to find them. But
You're on that's the right coast, actually. Yeah, you'll have fun. It's a beautiful Sanibel. Honestly, I gotta wonder how much you're making because Sanibel is not gonna be cheap.
I didn't pay for any of it, so I don't pay for things.
Oh, Jack's not looking. Jack.
What?
Ooh, somebody has to ask Tom a question.
Oh, sorry.
Wait,
Sorry.
Somebody asked Tom a
No, you're
question.
right. We started early tonight, maybe.
Can I offer a little,
So we have, I guess we've been on for a while. And
Wait,
it's
wait,
time
real
to-
quick.
I think it's time to wrap things up.
Yes, but 1 second. So one thing I want everyone out in podcast land to know is that the Friends of Zeus podcast is going to be getting together this winter at a beach house.
Ooh.
I thought it was a cabin house.
Yeah, that was a
Cabin, much like when we went camping, and we're going to do that.
and it was.
Are you inviting everybody? What do you say?
I'm just saying it's going to happen.
We may, if we have the availability, we may be bringing some of our past guests. I'm hoping. I think that would be pretty cool.
We're going to do it like maybe late January.
Well, we're certainly going to, we're going to do an episode from the trip. So we'll
Yeah, we're gonna bring the podcaster pro.
Yeah,
what's
we're
it
going to
called?
bring the podcast.
Yeah, we're gonna
on
bring
the
that
boat.
shit.
And we've got
It's $1,000 machine, but we're bringing.
Yes.
we've got an item that
Lock it up.
I want to give away. So we got to think about how we're gonna do it. But we do have a cool item, nothing crazy, but
Yeah.
something people would want.
And listen, I got to say something real quick too, and I'm going to reach over here to Zeus. Listen, Patriots is the balls. Like, you guys got to come out to Patriots. They gave us our own room, and they clean our ears, and they just come in and give us food and drinks. Like, we don't even have to ask for it. So
Tom, you should come out one show.
if you're in
Desiree's been here.
I've
if
been
you're in
there.
the Fairfax
Yeah, once.
area,
You can't come
and you
anymore.
come out
just,
on
you know.
Tuesday nights at 9:00.
I've been there, Zeus.
I know.
Friends of Zeus podcast.
And
I mean,
nice,
again.
yeah, nice try, Mike. They're not going to let you talk.
I'm just saying it's great. We have our own room. They give us food. They give us drink. Everyone knows us.
It's
Everybody knows your name.
It's been fantastic. I just
Thank
come through and
you.
I can't come next week because I've got a meeting, but
Thank you to
He's on the
Fairfax and
HOA.
Patriots Place in Fairfax.
And I did get the
Nobody
first
likes the
dance.
HOA.
I did get the first dance with Mike's new magic hips, and it was.
dude, my
it was
hips are
lovely.
awesome.
He was doing Shakira. Hips don't lie.
You
He
guys,
was like,
I'm like the $100,000 man now.
oh, Jack's signaling.
All right, let's go.
We're circling the drain.
Do you have Paul Lind on there, Mike?
He is Paul Lynn.
Oh, you're Paul Lind. There you go.
Jack, do you like my Jeopardy question?
Yeah, that's a good one, Zeus. I know it's confused you for decades.